Staying with us, this is Business Nigeria live from Abuja studios. President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda sets a bold vision for Nigeria's economic revitalization and social development, with a focus on empowering small and medium enterprises as engines of growth and job creation. At the forefront of translating this vision into tangible outcomes is the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, tasked with championing the interests of SMEs, fostering entrepreneurship and driving inclusive economic development. I introduced him earlier. He is the Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, Mr. Charles Odi. Thank you so much. It's interesting and good to have you here.
Thank you. Thank you for having me
here. Yeah, let's start with your assumption of office as Director General of SMEDAN. I've done a lot with SMEDAN over the years, so I know some of the activities of that office. Tell us about your strategy and maybe your focus since assuming office.
Thank you. So since we assumed office about 7 months ago,
yes,
one of the things that we are prioritizing in one word is access. We're trying to democratize access. Access to finance, access to market, access to capacity development, access to trainings, access to network. Because we believe that when we democratize our access, right, the son of a nobody can become anybody without knowing anything or anyone. He just goes there because we have broken down that access. And then the first thing we did on the 1st of December 2023, His Excellency, the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, who is the chairperson of the National Council of SMEs, inaugurated that council. Wow. So that Council of SME has been inaugurated, and at the federal level, His Excellency, the Vice President, is the chairman of the council, and then that council cascades to the different states, and at the state levels, all the governors of the different states are the chairpersons of this council. And what's this council started with? We started with one responsibility. Number one is removing the bottlenecks of doing business, right? So right now, if you need any information as to how to start and run and grow your business, all of that is saddled at the Secretariat of this National Council. So I'm the Secretary, His Excellency, the Vice President is the Chairperson, and at the different state levels, the governors are the chairpersons, and SMEDAN at the different states acts as the Secretariat to this council. This council acts as a one-stop shop. If you want to start a business, you want to grow a business. So one of my colleagues, I spoke earlier, the RG of CAC. So if you need to register your business, you need to export, you need to import, you need standardization, SON. We've got all the information as a one-stop shop for anyone who is a small business owner. And then we're saddled with the responsibility of that council to just ease the cost of doing business, to remove the bottlenecks, to remove the regulation. First of all, starting a business is not a small feat, right? So what we're trying to do is enable everyone in different sectors and making sure that all their interests are taken care of by advocating for better policies for these small businesses to start and thrive in the 36 states and the FCT.
I think it's commendable carrying the governors along. I think that is really commendable because sometimes, this doesn't really trickle down. I think that's really commendable. In a report on your platform, I saw, I love figures, 15,000 jobs and over 7 billion naira in direct funding. Can you highlight the initiatives that making you achieve this?
Yeah, so we have different initiatives. So we're very strategic in terms of our financing. One of the things that we're trying to do in terms of democratizing access to finance is making finance. So there are two things with access to finance. One is the cost of the finance, and the second is accessibility to the finance, right? Finance is very expensive and also very scarce in this part of Nigeria. We understand that, right? So one of the things that we've done is we look for single-digit interest loans. So we signed an MOU with Sterling Bank to the tune of 5 billion naira, where small businesses can get from as little as 250,000 naira to 2.5 million naira for three purposes. One, to get working tools for their businesses. One, secondly, for work capital. And thirdly, just to procure workspaces. And we think that when small businesses actually use the funds for these three things, we can see the ripple effect of small business participation in the economy. Because, if you look at the panoramic view of this SME landscape, these small businesses, approximately 40 million of them in Nigeria, account for approximately 50% of our GDP and are responsible for over 60 million jobs. So we need to continue to support them. And then one of the things that they need is financing. If you take 10 small business owners into this studio, I can tell you 9 out of 10 of them will tell you that finance is the problem.
Yes.
Right? But we at SMEDAN are looking beyond the financing. Financing is the means to an end, right? We're trying to make sure that the access to the finance is even streamlined and easier for them. So we got that cheap financing for them through the Sterling Bank. We are currently talking to BOI to also sign an MOU. In the coming weeks, we'll be releasing that information where small businesses can also have access to that fund. We've gone beyond that and gone to the different states. So my predecessor happens to be the governor of Katsina State.
Yes.
And it was one of the first persons I met with, and almost immediately committed to a counterpart funding of 5 million naira each. So we have a 1 billion naira fund portfolio for small businesses in Katsina State. We've done the same thing in Enugu State. We've done the same thing in Anambra State. And we're hoping to, continue to meet with the different state governors to make sure that we can make funds available in their states for small businesses in their state to thrive and to expand. We also have phenomenal programs that we do. And this funding, of course, His Excellency the President was very magnanimous, approving the sum of 200 billion naira for this funding. 50 billion as grants to nano businesses. So we have nano, we have micro, we have small, and we have medium. Right? The nano businesses are businesses at the bottom of the value chain. So those are businesses with less than 10 employees. Okay. The woman at corner of the street who was, roasting some corn, the mobile truck pusher, those kind of nano businesses. Those guys will receive 15,000 naira each. Approximately 1 million of them will receive 50,000 naira each, spread across the 774 local governments. And then there's also the
not selective.
Not selective. So what they need to do is, remember I said President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration is the one where anyone can access a lot without knowing anyone.
Exactly. That's why I wanted to say that, because when these things look lofty, they look very interesting. Access is very important.
It is. So, if you remember, the president had let us know that we can actually reduce a lot of corruption, a lot of nepotism using technology. So you apply. And then you get the feedback almost immediately. That's not to say that we're ignorant of the people who are closer to the business communities that are closer to the small businesses in the different clusters. We understand them. We also understand the cooperatives. We have a program called the One Local Government, One Products. Yeah. Where we go across the all up.
I can still remember.
Yeah, all up. We call it all up. We brought this from the Japanese. The Japanese have something they call One Village, One Product. Okay. Ours is One Local Government, One Product. Where we go through all the 774 local governments across the country, and they were looking for products that we can harness for local consumption and also for exports. So, Okigwe local government in Nigeria right now, they're talking about producing cassava, right? We can now work with cooperatives in those local governments. So we release money to the cooperatives, right? And that money, 70% of the money, it's a loan, 30% is a grant to that cooperative. So everyone in that cooperative, if you take another example, Shomolu local government is very known in Lagos State, is very known for printing, banners, flyers, right? So we work with a cooperative there. Where everyone in that Shomolu local government who wants to start a business in printing can go to that cooperative to access funding for working capital, to access funding to rent workspaces, to access funding for work tools. So those kind of initiatives, One Local Government, One Product, the conditional grant scheme where 50,000 is being disbursed to nano businesses, the National Business Skills Development Initiatives where we're actually training small businesses on skills, because when a lot of people are talking about the problems with small businesses, one of the major problems we have are the problems with the skills, the nature of the enterprises. Right? We need to make sure that our enterprises are upskilled to compete with their counterparts in developed clients.
Very important.
So we're not ignorant of that fact that we need to continue the capacity development initiative, because people go to school to become lawyers, people go to school to become engineers, right? But entrepreneurial education has not been enforced into our educational curriculum, which is one thing that we're very vocal about. We want to make sure that there's a subject called commerce in secondary school, right? Where you are being taught how to start the business and all of that. We want to make sure that commerce is now mandatory for everyone, so that you understand the entrepreneurial education at secondary level. And then at the tertiary level, beyond those commerce, then skills. right? We want to make sure that everyone has a skill that they can harness for themselves, so that they can, at the end of the day, start a business or, join a business and just add value. So we have the National Business Skill Development Initiative. We have the One Local Government, One Product. We have the Conditional Grant Scheme. We have the Financial Empowerment Program. We have the Talent Hunt. We have different programs, spread across the 774 local government, where our goal is just simple. The SMEDAN mandate under President Bola Tinubu can be categorized under one acronym, which is GROW. GROW. The G stands for guidance. The R stands for resources, and these resources can be financial or non-financial. The O stands for opportunity, and the W stands for workforce support. Wow. We believe that any small business can metamorphose into a medium business. A medium business can metamorphose into a large business if they have the right guidance, resources, opportunities, and workforce support. And that's what we're here to support and give small businesses in the SME subsector in Nigeria.
Interesting stuff. Grow Nigeria agenda. I'm interested in that, because I'm one of us. I think I'm one of the persons that believe that we need to look inwards, to harness the opportunities that we have here. But do you think that our small business owners, maybe some producers, manufacturers, little things, are they competitive when you look at their peers in other countries? There are other issues aside even funding.
They are, and that's why I begin to tackle them head on. So if you take Grow Nigeria, right?
Standards too.
Yes,
go ahead.
True. So one of my colleagues, is in charge of standardization. All of those things are things that we're taking into consideration. Good. We don't want to reduce the standards. We want to make sure that the standards are there, and then we enforce the standards. Standards in drugs and food consumption, which is NAFDAC. Standards in Standardization Organization of Nigeria, which is our exports and just electrical appliances and all those things. We want to make sure that those standards are upheld. And so when they are upheld, we can now start to talk about trust in the MSME ecosystem. Okay. But answering your question in a nutshell, we if you look at this GROW, the guidance that we're giving them, the resources we're giving them, the opportunities we're giving them, the workforce support that we're giving them, it will then metamorphose into 7 sectors, key priority sectors. So for everyone in our agriculture and the agricultural value chain, which has to do with something we've themed from the farm to the dining table. So that value chain, how the seedlings get into the ground, how it's harvested, then how is it transported to warehouse, from the warehouse, if it's going to be exported, sorted out for export, or got into the market. All of that we're going to be supporting, right? Okay. So Grow Nigerian, which is guidance, resources, opportunity, and workforce support for Nigeria, will then metamorphose to It's Nigerian. And this is everything in the agricultural value chain. We're going to be supporting that value chain. We also have Wear Nigerian. I'm wearing, I don't know what suit you're wearing. This is made in Nigeria. So I'm wearing made in Nigeria. My flowers made in Nigeria. All of this is made in Nigeria.
I'm a made in Nigeria brand, so I like to promote Nigerian
Fantastic. Yeah. So we want to encourage people to do some more. But while we're encouraging people to patronize made in Nigeria, we're also going to be focusing on the sectors there. So the garments and textile, hides and skin, the cosmetics, we're going to support all those entrepreneurs with the right amount of guidance they need, the right amount of resources they need, the right amount of opportunities, and the right amount of workforce support. So we have It's Nigerian, which we will be pushing, Wear Nigerian, which is also, got to do with our garments, textile. We're gonna have Produce Nigerian, which is going to do with light manufacturing. The Manufacturing Association of Nigeria will let you know that there are a lot of issues there, and we're already addressing that head on by providing shared facilities. So, for instance, at our office here, we're testing some models. We've put a state-of-the-art garment textile factory. We put a state-of-the-art carpentry factory, state-of-the-art recycling plant, state-of-the-art fast-moving consumer good lab, where anyone can just go, get a loan, get a raw material, process it there, warehouse it there, and distribute it to anywhere in Nigeria at 0 cost. So what happens is you're not looking for money to buy the machines are there for you. You're not looking for money to maintain the machines are there already maintained by SMEDAN. You're not looking for money to provide power, because we are providing and powering the places. So we're trying to a large extent, solve for produce Nigerian. Also, you know, His Excellency the President is the chief promoter of Nigeria.
Yes.
And he's been going everywhere and saying, visit Nigeria. So we're also taking into consideration tourism. We're taking consideration some of our arts and craft that, you know, attract a lot of people. So we have Eat Nigeria, we have Wear Nigerian, we have Produce Nigerian, we have Visit Nigerian. We're a service-dependent sector, service-dependent economy, and so we are going to be working closely with all the service providers, themed Patronize Nigerian. We are also very big on education. We're teaching day in, day out. As I left you today, you know, a couple of people are receiving trainings in my office, different entrepreneurs, and so we're very big on Teach Nigerian. We're teaching in our local dialects, we're teaching entrepreneurial content, and the last but not the least is Watch and Listen Nigerian. So the creative digital space, our Nollywood movies, our music, we're going to be supporting all those 7 sectors with the right guidance, the right resources, the right opportunity, and the right workforce support for them to start, scale, and grow their enterprises in Nigeria.
Brilliant. I think we need to be having you bring us up onto this. But if we can do this in 1 minute, what should we expect moving on? Looking at your reforms that you've put on ground before the end of the year, what's your projection?
So first of all, clarity begins from the house. We need to expect the SMEDAN employees themselves, if they're going to take care of 40 million small businesses, they have to be adequately equipped to do so. So we need to expect some reforms internally, and it's a total reform. You see us on TV or on social media exercising every Wednesday. It's because we want to be physically fit for the job ahead. So we're doing that physical training, we're doing that entrepreneurial training, we're doing that internal training just to basically get ready for the work ahead. And in the ecosystem, what we should expect going forward is adequate financing. Wow. So no money to start my business will be a thing of the past under President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. For access, democratize. Access to finance, access to market, access to capacity development, access to training, and access to network. That's what we should expect.
Brilliant. We'll hold you. We'll have you in to examine all of this and look at how they're crystallizing and, you know. Thank you so much for your time in speaking to Mr. Charles Odi. He is the Director General of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria. Thank you for coming on our show. We hope to have you again.
Thank you so much.
All right then.